Good morning. We'd like to welcome you to the Donnie Glover Show right here on BlackUSA.News. Today we're being joined by JohnDre Jennings, Executive Director of the Druid Heights Community Development Corporation. Druid Heights has been serving the community for some 40 years right here in historic West Baltimore. Big ups to one of the early matriarchs, Maggie Quill. Remember sitting at her table there on Druid Hill Avenue and having her give the big mama spiel. But nonetheless, JohnDre, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you doing? And good morning to everyone out there.
We're good. We're blessed. Where are you from, JohnDre?
Yeah, so I'm originally from we call the Sunshine State. I know people don't love it right now, but Florida. And I still claim it, but I've been here for about 20 some odd years. So
see, you done messed up. This is
I
my
know.
book. This is my book, I Am Black Wall Street.
Of course.
Did you know that the people who made it to Black Wall Street, the first group of black people that went to Oklahoma came from Florida?
I did not know that.
So you know down in Florida, they had them Seminole Wars.
Absolutely.
There had 3 Seminole Wars. And one of the people fighting in the Seminole Wars was President Andrew Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And his goal was to chase all blacks who had escaped slavery and all Indians who had escaped European colonization. They would go to Florida. Florida was like the last bastion of hope on the East Coast because Andrew Jackson wanted to send the Indians out west, and they wanted to put Africans in chains. And so there were 3 wars, and this man named Chief John Horse, he fought in the Second Seminole War. He was a black Indian, and they called him Gopher John, but he fought alongside the Seminoles, and they fought to a truce, and he led 200 black families on the Trail of Tears because America will tell you that all blacks were slaves. There were many blacks who had no history of slavery at all, but these were soldiers. They were down in Florida fighting for their freedom. After the truce, they agreed to go to Oklahoma. They got out to Oklahoma in 1843, and the U.S. government reneged on the chief. They promised him his freedom. He'd get out there, and they did what America does. Oh, we don't know what you're talking about.
What's it up? Right.
He then led those 200 black families to Nacimiento, Mexico. So that was the first wave of black people to what they called Indian territory. Also down in Florida, did you know you had black pirates? There's a black pirate named Black Caesar. You can look him up. And he lived around Biscayne Bay.
Okay.
And he hijacked about $6 million in silver. So technically, he could have been the first black millionaire in America, but they did hang him. They hung him.
Yes, they did. Definitely know where Biscayne Bay is. Okay, you've giving me a little history of my state, but I've been here for about 20 something years, and I hail from the great Morgan State University. Came here to go to undergrad, and I've basically been here ever since. So,
do you see any similarities? I mean, like what I didn't know, and I got to tell you, before researching Florida, what was stuck in my mind was Trayvon. And I swore after Trayvon, I hated Florida. I never wanted to go there.
Right.
But moving that aside, and as I was researching this book, Florida is loaded with critical and essential black history.
Absolutely.
A lot of us don't realize that Florida produces more athletes, especially football and basketball, than maybe any other state. Because you play sports all year long. Some of the baddest football players come out of Florida.
I hear you. Do I see
I've got a
similarities?
different perception of Florida now.
Do I see similarities in here in Florida, or do I see similarities? The similarities for me, to be honest, is that Baltimore. I'm from a small town in Florida on the East Coast. It's called Vero Beach, or some would say Zero Beach, but it's a tiny town on the East Coast. And my similarity is the component of neighborhoods. Baltimore is a city of neighborhoods to me, and that's what had attracted me when I first came here. Of course, all the festivals and things like that. I didn't see that because I'm not from Miami. I'm from a small town. The neighborhood and the neighborhood love and that community aspect. That's the similarities I see, as well as, to me, this is still the South. There are so many families that I am friends with and colleagues where their parents and grandparents have so many. I'm like, that's Southern. So although my family down in Florida says, you in the Baltimore, you in the city, or over at Eastern Shore, some would even say the big city in Baltimore. But I see so many attributes, so many Southern, for me, Southern, even just the family gatherings, just the cooking. And also the biggest thing is the neighborhood, which is why, I love Druid Heights. Just the neighborhood love, and that component, that's what connects me. And I guess maybe why I'm still here. That aspect of neighborhoods. But yeah, speaking of Trayvon, I don't know if I see similar. I didn't grow up my town. I think we were blind to some of the racial, our family and parents kept us close, and we didn't have any of those. We don't, when we talked about Trayvon, my friends and I were like, that's crazy. We know it's racism in Florida, of course, we knew, but it wasn't like we were nervous or scared. Again, my small town back in the 70s, 80s, you still left the doors unlocked. You still could walk, all the way up the street. So.
I do have one concern about Florida. I had one dream about Florida. I was on a bus. We were going down the Southern Road, and all of a sudden, alligators were on the road. Now, maybe because I felt guilty for my alligator boots, not. But so I ain't all of that fond of no alligator.
The alligators are present, absolutely.
I'm used to rats. I've seen dogs, cats, pit bulls, but an alligator.
Rats and alligators. I mean, come on.
I know the rat, the alligator, and he big, and I got a pair of his cousins on my feet. So I don't think that'll be a real equal relationship.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
that's
you
definitely
have alligators. You definitely have alligators, but that's funny. But
so look, I got to share this with you. Something else I learned about Florida too.
Sure.
I did a video and it got thousands of hits. And this isn't pleasant, but alligator bait.
Mm-hmm.
How they use black babies as alligator bait in the South.
No, I don't know anything about that. Alligator bait.
Alligator bait. Oh my God. Look, by the way, this is Laquita Chansey with this comment. I left it up here because Quita runs Smaltimore Homes.
Absolutely. Hello.
So you know Quita. Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Druid Heights, you mentioned Florida, Overtown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here in Sandtown, your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in the 90s, Overtown came to Sandtown. And now we actually have, and I'm surprised he hasn't chimed in yet, Michael Randolph, who moved to Overtown from Sandtown. And so there's a lot of Black history there in Florida.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Especially in Overtown, which I believe is in the Miami area. Again, I'm not from there, but I have family that lives near Overtown. And yeah, I mean, similar to here in Baltimore, there's just so much rich history that dare I say has been forgotten, or when we need to remind our youth about. But absolutely, Overtown, which is another city that has blight, that has not getting the attention it needs to be revitalized, has some rich history, and a lot of the families there. My family has told me about a lot of families there that were middle class families, and then they die off, and then similar to here in Baltimore and Druid Heights, right? We talk about that's our story, is that we want to bring back uh, we don't want to bring back the middle class families, but we do want to bring back that we do want to revitalize the corridor. We do want to remove the blight, and we want to bring, I would say, back that pride for families that are now coming that may not know about the history, or we need to do a better job of sharing it with them. A lot of the elders that come to our community meetings, which is every fourth Saturday, always remind us, which is why I love the community meetings, about Druid Heights, what Druid Heights meant, what Pennsylvania Avenue, Miss Tyers and others, some of the elders will tell us, and they push us and they make us remember. They won't let us forget, which is huge, and why we need to always include our elders and our community. And I would say we need to do a better job of sharing, showing, and teaching the youth so they can remember what Pennsylvania Avenue. We have the Sphinx Club on Pennsylvania Avenue that we're working to revive. It's taken a long time, but that corridor, we want to remind our youth and the current us too, remind ourselves of what we had and what is still really there. The history isn't gone. We just need to continue to share it and uplift it, so that we will remember and move forward. I think, as a Black community, as a Black organization, that's our duty and our job, to make sure that we're trying our hardest to make sure that we're keeping safe, that we're not displacing others, that we're making sure that we're educating through our home buyers workshops, and that we're providing this affordable housing, providing the tools needed and the resources in communities. It is not easy, Doni. It's not easy. And there's some other factors that play into us really not being able to be where we should be. But it's important, Miss Maggie Quill. I don't know if you see all the way back in there. That's her diploma back there. And of course, Miss Jacqueline Cornish, being it Women's History Month, we definitely want to celebrate and highlight them for creating this organization and for
How is
making
Jackie
sure.
Cornish?
She's doing well.
How old is she? Was she like 55?
You want me to tell her age? Come on, guys.
She like 55. Because
We'll go with that.
I'm
We'll
56.
go with that.
Huh?
You're not getting me in trouble on the morning news.
She looks so young.
She does. She looks the same, right? And she always says,
I mean, she like in her 50s for real.
She always says, "I'm so old." And we're like, "You look wonderful." They say, what do they say? Black don't crack. I don't know, but we wanna continue, and we have to advocate, and honestly, we have to fight to continue to bring about this change.
JohnDre, certainly by now you've met a Cardiff Cornish.
Yes, of course. Of course I've met and know Cardiff. I'm surprised he's not walking in here now. He's always popping up somewhere.
Who is Cardiff Cornish, for those who may not know? I saw him just yesterday over at the Avenue Market with his son. They had skateboards. No camera. Who is Cardiff Cornish?
Mr. Cardiff Cornish is a resident I would say one of our younger advocates in the community. He actually used to work here for Druid Heights in our community outreach, I believe. But he's a resident. He's an artist. Dare I say, entrepreneur. You know, we're trying to push him to continue to do these great things. But he, of course, rides his bike around and always has his camera. And I'm telling him, I always need you around so I can get your pictures, so I can he does photography. And he does a great job of, this social media is a plus and I guess, it has its pros and cons, right? But through folks like Cardiff and others, Michael Cornish, others that are always got the camera, making sure that they're sharing what's going on that's important. Because I can't always have the camera, and I don't even know how to remember sometimes. But he always has his camera everywhere. He's always everywhere around the community,
and he has a lot of pride.
Absolutely,
he takes a lot of pride in his community. It takes a little. Again, I bumped into him. I put it on Instagram yesterday. I bumped into Cardiff. He was with his son. They had skateboards, and what I'm saying, he was at the Avenue Market. Now, you're in Druid Heights. I'm your neighbor to the west of you in Sandtown, Winchester. Out to the south of both of us is Upton and also Harlem Park, and all four communities, and you add in Penn North. We all share, if you will, the legacy part of historic Pennsylvania Avenue. So the strip from Penn North straight on down to Lafayette Avenue comes straight through almost five communities, and it's an important part. So we all take a part in keeping it special.
yes.
I don't know if you've ever met, but I just want to send a plug to wherever he is, to George Gilliam. George Gilliam was instrumental, he and his late wife Stephanie, in helping to preserve that history. Tell me about the Sphinx Club. Now, I've been abreast. I know, it's a challenge. Will we see the Sphinx Club ever again? Did we lose him?
See me? You got me?
Yes.
We have some internet issues over here, but absolutely, we're working to make sure we're at least phasing the Sphinx Club. I think you'll be happy to see some things that should be happening this late summer, fall. We're partnering with the Black Arts and Entertainment District, Lady Breon, and the Historical Photography Project to do some potential either arts exhibit or some outside. The challenge with the Sphinx Club is that it's in the corridor where it's still being revitalized, where, the entire block is still being worked on. So we're looking forward to opening the space. Hopefully in the next couple of years, you'll see that. Were you at the Sphinx Club with Mr. Tillman? Well, not the Sphinx Club, but
I know they did a tribute for Milton Tillman over there on Fremont. Dre? I think we may have lost her. We're talking with JohnDre Jennings. She's the executive director of Druid Heights Community Development Corporation. There she goes. Okay. You there?
Can you see me?
Yes.
So yes, we did a tribute in the Cab Calloway Park for
Milton Tillman. Yes, there was a tribute done for Milton Tillman over there on Fremont. And yes, I did come through. We actually had a Sandtown, Winchester community meeting that day. So for more information on Druid Heights, you can go to Druid Heights. I want to say Druid Heights CDC. Let me just make sure I give you the right website for Druid Heights. I should know this. The Druid Heights CDC.com. Bear with me a second, folks. No, DruidHeights.com. Just go to DruidHeights.com. Oh, there we go. There we go. You're back. You're back.
This internet over here. DruidHeights.com. You can go to find out information about our community outreach. We have a Girl Scouts troop. Please check us out. As well as we have a certified housing counseling agency. And so if you're looking to keep your home, do reverse mortgage, anything, you want a home, come talk to us. We're also starting a program for rental with our rental assistance. So call us up, find out about our resources. DruidHeights.com is our website. Our phone number is 410-523-1350. That's 410.
Dre, earlier you said you were not trying to attract the middle class. Did we lose her again? If you can hear me, you said you were not necessarily trying to invite the middle class back. I wanted you to elaborate on that for me for a moment, because I would, we certainly want the middle. We want anybody, as long as you're willing to be a good neighbor, come back to the community. And where I'm at, I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, whatever. If you're going to be a good community partner, a good neighbor, come on to Sandtown. Middle class, upper class, lower class. What we are not trying to attract to Sandtown is homeless people. And I said it. No, we're not. You didn't buy a home to be attacked and swarmed by homeless people who tend to have more rights in this day and time than me, the black homeowner. No, I do not get that part. I want the same level of respect, level of accountability that white neighbors get over in Bolton Hill. I want the same type of equity, and we don't always see it on a regular basis. Where if African Americans go over to Bolton Hill and do anything out of order, the police are immediately called. Yet here in the black community, 99.9% black, it's not often the same over here in the community. Yes, ma'am.
So the thanks for your patience. I didn't want to say that we only want to attract middle class, because what we want is families, right? We want all families. Our affordable housing is for low to moderate income families. So we don't want to only attract middle class, but because I said we want to attract middle class, but then I stopped myself, because we don't want to only attract, but a lot of the elders talk about Druid Heights was a middle to upper class community back in the 60s and 70s. And so they kind of talk about that remembrance. And most of those families were homeowners, right? And so we want to make sure we have the home ownership, but I don't want to put out there that we only want middle class families.
Well, I'm going to tell you, JohnDre, now you ain't got to say it because you got to be politically correct. I want homeowners around me. I want upwardly mobile, positive things. And matter of fact, how about this? Take away middle class, lower class. How about just clean neighbors? Because I done seen rich people who dirty, and I've seen poor people who are clean. So
absolutely,
new rules. We want clean neighbors.
We want clean neighbors. I love it.
Yeah, I don't want a neighbor who's throwing a chicken bone out the front door, whether they black, white, Asian,
right,
whomever.
Right.
No, I don't want a neighbor whose child is left unattended.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want loud neighbors. I want neighbors that go to sleep at night. Not ones that play music till 3, 4 in the morning.
Well, you do want to diversify your neighbors,
man,
right?
It's 10 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. Cut that damn music off so we can all. And I don't need your music. I got my own music. Why do I need to hear it? Why am I in my bedroom, in my space, and I hear your music? I just want to know.
But see, that's the beauty of being in the city.
Because somebody gonna knock on your door, they're gonna call 911.
That's the beauty of being in the city, that's totally different from being in Florida, where we have you got the row homes. So that's why you hear all the music. It's not the single family homes.
New rules. We want clean neighbors and we want respectful neighbors.
Okay. I agree to that. I'll agree to the respectful neighbors. Clean. I just don't want folks to be throwing stuff in the alley and outside on their porch.
Oh, I'm glad you say that.
Clean is subjective.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It's dirty and it's bleach. And pick one. Who does the most dumping in Druid Heights?
People that are not from Druid Heights.
Boom.
Absolutely. We know that all day long. As we canvass the communities. Actually, yesterday, Miss Osley Fisher, who's our outreach director, they canvassed the community with some other residents and saw the trash. Of course, we see the trash every single day. And, the residents are saying, we're not throwing this trash, but we already knew that, right? Who is throwing literally tons of trash? For example, our Edding Street block, residents it's not even enough trash to throw tons of trash in an amount of 1 or 2 days. So we're clear that it's other folks, residents, people, contractors, whomever that's coming and literally dumping in our communities. And we've communicated that it's a huge issue. And we hope that we can better work with the city to assist with the dumping issue. But, the biggest thing is it's not the residents. So don't blame the residents.
How long have you been in Baltimore?
For about 20 years.
Never in the history of Blackness have I ever seen in a 99% African-American community addicts who are not reflective of this demographic buying dope, walking the streets all hours of the night, in alleys, sleeping in vacants, squatting.
Squatters, yep.
And then when I call the police on them, the police will come and just ask them to leave.
To leave, right.
Only for them to return. One property, we actually had to get the city, it was a city-owned property, we had to get the city to brick it up because these non-Black squatters were adamant about sleeping in the vacant, not on Carlton Avenue. And that's the name, I think, of my next book.
Your next book?
Not on Carlton Avenue.
Oh, I like it.
They can sell dope around the corner, but you ain't selling dope on Carlton Avenue. Do you have an illegal drug problem there in Druid Heights?
Is that a rhetorical question?
I saw a dope line one Sunday morning in Druid Heights. I almost fell off my rocking chair. On a Sunday morning in historic, beautiful 3-story buildings. And then I'm hearing a familiar sound and I'm like, no, it can't be. And then all of a sudden you see 100 people run into a line. How does that disaffect neighbors?
I think that, that's funny. Talk about the elders. They were kind of venting to Officer Lee.
Chuck Lee.
Shout out to Officer Lee. At our community meeting this last Saturday about the open air drug market, and that they are tired of looking out their window in the vacants and seeing this and what else can be done. Some residents are just, they're null to it. They have no feelings about it because it's happened for so long. But the elders remind us that no, this is
not the norm.
Unacceptable. And if they have to call me every day, call outreach, call the center. That's what they do. Send us pictures every week, literally. That's what they're gonna do. And it is disheartening to me to see that, and to see that I don't know what Baltimore City is going to do about this. It's gotten, as you said, now we're seeing other people that's not even from here. I mean, we already know the addicts are here in the
And
community.
some of them are threatening. Some of them are threatening.
Threatening?
Threatening, yes.
What is threatening in what way?
They know you live here.
Yes.
They know you really want to put a baseball bat on them. And they know if you do, you are going to jail. And they won't.
And they won't.
Here you just one piece of mind in your space.
Right.
But you're being driven to some abnormal behavior because the police won't G-check these squatters, which goes back to Freddie Gray, where we have to respect everybody's rights.
Right. Yeah, I don't mind respecting their rights, but we have to figure out another strategy. Just telling them to disperse, that's not working.
If you went and sat on some steps in Bolton Hill, you, JohnDre Jennings, right now, if you went over to Bolton Hill and you just sat on some steps and you pulled out your laptop, you pulled out your cell phone, you just sat there for 2 hours, what would happen, JohnDre?
No, absolutely right. So I won't be doing that. They will be calling the police on me, and I would probably be arrested. They would not just tell me to leave. And so
that part right there. So in this 9-1 Democratic town, it's like we haven't made a whole heck of a lot of progress. But anyway, in Druid Heights, I gotta give you something golden. You have the most beautiful marble steps.
I thought you were gonna say 3-story homes. Absolutely.
And 3 stories. I mean, all up and down McCullough Street. How much can I get a 3-story? Would you call them brownstones?
Well, we don't, but I guess if Harlem can do it, we can. But yeah, they're 3-story townhomes. Beautiful, huge, over 2,500 square feet with huge basements. I mean, these homes that were built are they're amazing. They're pretty much amazing, and historic. And that's the part where I was going with the middle class families, such as 2200 block of Druid Hill that we're developing, and we were able to stabilize. But these homes that are so huge add so much value to the community. You got in our board president and the the 1900 block of Druid Hill. Those are all homeowners, those huge big homes, and they're maintaining their block. When you talk about homeowners that clean or dirty, that's where the difference, if you have that mix of homeowner and renters, they're maintaining their blocks. But yeah, I don't think they're called brownstones. But yeah, I love it. I love it. I love to call them brownstones. That's I guess New York or Harlem term. But yeah, they're huge homes that we want to continue to get this vacancy rate down and get homeowners in them.
So this is Michael Randolph. He's the one who used to live in Sandtown, and he was so infatuated with Overtown, he moved there and he hasn't come back. So,
oh wow,
we want to thank you for taking Michael Randolph off our hands. Now, Morgan says people need to find the value in life and their communities again. Now, there was another question in here. I want to make sure you see it. It had to do with right here. Redlining is real. The impacts, all the layers, mixed income neighborhoods are necessary for growth. If we provide housing, we can end homelessness. I disagree. I have found that there is a demographic of people who want to get high. They don't care that they're homeless. They don't care that they are around homeowners. They just want to get high. And at what point is that not my responsibility? I'm all for solving homelessness. We had a man that lived across the street in the outdoors all through the summer. He died. They carried him away January the 1st. We offered him help. I called Christina Flowers. She offered him help. I sent the city over there. They offered him help. He and his girlfriend wanted to shoot dope all day and live outside.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm all for curing homelessness. Have you ever been to the West Coast?
Not recently, but I know there's a huge issue.
They got LA, Portland, Seattle.
Yes.
I went to Portland. Portland had thousands of white homeless people walking around. It was like some Dawn of the Dead stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that all homeless people want help.
Want help, right.
And I'm not for a $90 million homeless hotel. You might as well put a sign on 95 that says, welcome to homeless. God daggone it, we're trying to build communities.
Right.
And don't put that on me. We already dealing with historic neglect. Mm-hmm. We're dealing with a housing stock loaded with vacants. So don't be putting the homeless on me. Matter of fact, take the homeless to Guilford. I think that makes more sense.
Well, we do have
JohnDre. Catherine Elizabeth Pugh removed the homeless who were in front of City Hall in Tent City, and she put them across the street from me in Penderhughes. There was no homeless in Penderhughes. This is Sandtown. This is not a homeless neighborhood. So what makes these people think that we are okay? We are homeowners.
Right.
Don't be putting that on me. Matter of fact, you want to be liberal and support the homeless? Put it in your damn neighborhood. But Druid Heights, Sandtown, we got enough that we're dealing with already. I say put it in Guilford or put it down Federal Hill.
Well, I will say we do have a transitional house. We do have a transitional housing program for 24 women and children, families that are transitioning from homelessness. I do agree that we can, that's a small little part, right? So we can't solve the homelessness issue. Druid Heights is doing a ton of work. I don't want to say that we can solve it, and I don't know where to put them. But the city does need to do something about the squatting issue. And as you said, some people, we've given resources to some squatters and to some folks that were in the parks, and they don't want the resources. So you can't say, just help them, because there's help. There's so many resources in Baltimore City. They don't want the help. As you said, some just want to get high or, do their
recreation. And make it your problem. True story. I'm not making this up. It was a Sunday morning. It was 10 a.m. Just like that, alarm went off. One Sunday morning, my German Shepherd, he was startled. And I looked at him. I wondered, oh, wow, what could that be? And then he was headed toward the back door. And living in the hood, I kind of knew what it was. But I said, well, let's venture out there. Let's see. 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Now, I told you this is a 99% African-American community. This was a non-African-American lady. And she was squatting down. She was eating out of a bag on the ground. And so I looked over there. I said, lady, You can't be back here. I've never seen people play in the alley before, ever in my life, little kids, but certainly not grown people.
Grown people, right.
And she said, well, excuse me, but do you own this alley?
Wow.
And I said, well, by golly, I do. And she proceeded to call me an effing N-word on a Sunday morning.
You got a lot of activity on Sunday mornings.
Dope line don't stop.
That's true.
Might as well make it legal, take the profit out of it. And since Baltimore insists on having some type of Amsterdam, then put the Amsterdam over there in Guilford. Let's be clear, heroin, crack, cocaine, somebody makes a lot of money off of it coming into our communities.
Absolutely.
And we're very clear that probably not 100% of the police ought to be police. You can't keep selling dope on the same corner every day without some type of law enforcement insurance. You got to be paying somebody making that money, that private school tuition money. Or they might have to pay for that new Mustang. Anyway, when is the next community meeting in Druid Heights?
Absolutely.
You weren't expecting this cup of coffee this morning, were you?
I love it. I love it. So our next community meeting, our monthly community meetings are every fourth Saturday. So come check us out so now I'm on my phone, but come check us out on March the
26th.
Yes. On March the 26th. And we are looking forward to highlighting, well, first we're gonna give you the news, what's happening in Heights, and looking forward to sharing with you I don't have the updates on what'll be there, but I know we'll be talking about, of course, Women's History Month, celebrating women in our community, in particular women of color, as well as sharing information about our housing counseling services with Ms. Chloe Williams. Again, please call us if you need any services or assistance with your home. If you think you're about to go into foreclosure, you think you're about to miss a payment, give us a call. We can offer some resources. As well as we have our Returning Citizens program. So if you know anyone or if you're someone that are returning into our community, and you need some services, you need help with ID, you need help with figuring out what's next, come check us out. Mr. Andre Fisher is our case manager here. We also have a men's wrap, which will be next Wednesday. What is the men's wrap? That's men coming together from the various walks of life that are either going through either coming back, returning citizens, going through any other challenges, or if you would like to mentor some of our young men in particular, please come check us out at our men's wrap, which is 6 p.m. I think that's March 9th, next Wednesday. So we have a lot of things going on. One big event that's happening April 9th that I was trying to share my screen, and I don't know how to share the screen, but we have a community job fair, and we'll have some employers. We have here the Burger King. I think the library will be here. We have University of Maryland that'll be here to offer some employment, because that's another big thing, Donnie, that we need to get back into making sure that folks have jobs. We want to complain about what's going on, but if these folks don't have jobs, and some don't want it, some want to do what they're doing, but some do want jobs. Some are looking. And so we want to have this job fair. And I think we're having an Easter egg hunt or Easter egg roll.
JohnDre.
After that. Yes.
JohnDre. Anybody wanting to work, there's work out there for you.
Now, this is true, but sometimes it's a little hard.
JohnDre, Chipotle is hiring right now.
That's good. I'm going to invite them to the thing.
All Chipotle's hiring. They can't keep employees because people don't want to work.
People don't want to work.
You know, I hear a lot of times we complain, oh, and I'm just saying it, you know, the Mexicans, the Latinos, you know, the El Salvadorans, the Nicaraguans, the, you know, Guatemalans, they're taking all the jobs. But we want to stand on the corner all day.
Right. But they're not taking all the jobs. I mean,
Chipotle is hiring right now. CIAA, they could not keep enough employees to serve people. And what I would like to get to is eliminating excuses.
Yes. Because I would like to offer in the construction, you know, before this, I was the director of real estate for 5 years here at Druid Heights. Did not complain, right, about construction jobs and the Latino family getting these jobs, because the Latino family is the ones that are doing the jobs. So we can't complain. You know, I've talked to several, in particular, Black men that complain, well, y'all just giving it to the Mexicans, or y'all just, and it's not that. We got to do better. And as you said, I agree. Stop with the excuses. It's plenty of, we had a certified program for construction here on Saturday. It's plenty of jobs. We just got to do the want to work. So, and we do have M.P.A.
Let me tell you something.
We work with CL Miles. We work with Mr. McCoy on this work. So, can you hear me, Donnie?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Donnie?
I'm here. Testing. Can you hear me? I can hear you. You can? Testing. JohnDre? Okay. Mental health needs to be addressed too. I hear you, Quita, but when I see the lady who's supposed to be in the mental health line getting help in the dope line, we do what we want to do.
Oh, yeah. So
JohnDre,
you know,
JohnDre, let me get something in, because Quita is relentless in supporting, defending the homeless, those with mental health. You got mental health issues, I get it, but I see you in the dope line, and just like you can scrounge up $10 to go get that dope, you can get your ass to an NA meeting too.
Well, I mean, I applied Laquita for her efforts. You need people like Laquita that's gonna assist folks who back into, you know, life and get some help. So you do need advocates, Donnie. So you don't want to suppress folks that are trying to help the homeless. But so yeah, there are some folks that don't want the help. So
what do you think?
You gotta have a balance, though. You got.
What do you think is the solution to people who want to get high, not accepting the help offered? They're gonna get carried away like Nate got carried away on New Year's Day, dead in a body bag. You keep on putting that thing up in you, especially this fentanyl. You only got one time to slip. Homelessness is everywhere, and you're correct. We need to protect our communities. Housing, food is important. Again, some folks need extra help. Yeah, I agree.
Right. Lynn so Smith, you want the Laquitas. Don't quiet Laquita, Donnie. You want the Laquitas to assist.
I love Laquita. Laquita helps me clean up this William Penderhughes field, where over the summer I think collected 24 needles that Nate and his homeless friends left on the playground for the kids to pick up and step on. Yeah. So you see with the homeless, you know, where do you draw the line?
Right.
I understand you're homeless. I understand you have a dope habit, but you're dropping needles on the playground. You're leaving needles on the sliding board. How much understanding before somebody's kid catches AIDS from a hypodermic needle that the homeless addict left there. Oh, I'm sorry. You remember in SWAT when LL Cool J was locking up that man, the lady said, "Oh, you always locking up the old black man." And LL Cool J said, "We gonna see how liberal you are when they come breaking in your door." How can people get in touch with you? You were not expecting this morning. Neither was I.
I love the conversation, and I'm so glad that the Be More
this
thank
Black
you.
USA.news morning
Thank
show.
You. The Be More News. What I call them, fans. What do I call them? Followers.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna put your phone number up here.
The Be More News family.
They're gonna beat me up after the show, but not right now. 410.
So our number is 410-523-1350. And again, it's druidheights.com. Come check us out. Come stop by. We have resources here for community members, is in addition, and especially those services I offer for returning citizens, for the housing counseling services, as well as resources for community.
What time is your meeting, Morgan?
Our community meetings are from 1 to 3. And the men's rap is Wednesday nights, or next Wednesday. It's every other Wednesday at 6 p.m. And the April 9th event. And so can you share that flyer on something?
No, but if you email it, we'll post it on Be More News. Awesome. Morgan Poole Brooks, you may not get it from my comments, but I understand it more than you might think. 24 almost weekly. Addiction is a form of insanity, which is why addicts need advocates. And addicts also need accountability. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's food, whether it's sex, whether it's gambling, we need accountability.
Sure. So and I love the conversation. We need to continue to have a conversation because it's still.
I'm not going to die. Let me tell you something. She's asked me, do I understand addiction? When addicts break into the vacants and the house catches on fire,
yes,
and somebody's banging on your door at 2 a.m. saying, "Hey, get out." Yeah, we understand addiction very well, especially in the winter when a cat want to get high and stay warm.
They don't, right.
And the candle tips over. No, I understand it more than you might think. Okay, we're going to get up out of here, JohnDre. We've been doing the disco, and 523-1350. The meeting is the third Saturday.
The fourth Saturday.
Matter of fact, our meeting, thank you for letting us hold the Sandtown meeting there at Druid Heights.
Right, your meeting is the third Saturday.
Right, the 19th.
And yes, so we, Donnie, definitely invite you to our community meetings, and we need to highlight your book. And if you're interested,
I got two of them. Here, the other one, Unapologetically Black.
Okay, I know that one.
You know what unapologetically black is? Let me ask you, do you know what apologetically black is? The new Supreme Court Justice.
Is that apologetically black?
They say she ain't no Nat Turner. We're going to get up out of here. It's been a wonderful day.
I'm going to leave that one alone. You. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, family. Have a great day. Don't forget to check us out and come to our events. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Good deal. Keep watching BlackUSA.news, the voice of our people. Stay tuned for William Honolulu and the Black USA Morning Show. Good morning, world.